Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Raw review for this 18th day of April 2011. Raw came to us from the UK. They always do something a little different when they go overseas. They always put on a good show. First thing right out of the blocks was Cole and JR and Lawler were all on commentary tonight. Great to see JR on commentary more. Okay. Coming off of last week, we had established that R-Truth and John Cena were getting a shot at The Miz and the WWE title at Extreme Rules in a triple threat match. R-Truth comes out very, very happy, very motivated, very energized and all that, doing a very, very happy promo. Yeah, I'm getting a title shot, etc., etc., etc. Gets interrupted by John Morrison, who kind of comes out like a cocky prick, tells him Lady Luck was on his side, etc., puts him down. Shows a video clip of R-Truth getting a drink of water after defeating himself and Ziggler while he's waiting after he had defeated Ziggler and Morrison, and he was waiting for John Cena. There we go. I can speak, I swear. After you've defeated Ziggler and Morrison in a row, I think it's okay to sit back for a couple of seconds and have a drink of water before you face John Cena, but that's another story. Then he goes on to say, well, you know, you're in pretty good shape for a guy that smokes, and R-Truth admits that he's trying to quit smoking and da-da-da-da, brushes him off, but somehow gets bullied into a match, putting his shot at Extreme Rules on the line against John Morrison. Now, Morrison comes in being a cock, being an absolute asshole, as the heel, but, anyways, the match goes on. The match is good. The match is better than I'm pretty sure most of the people that hate on R-Truth want to admit. R-Truth has a wicked maneuver, and they've never really given it a name. Starts off as a simple vertical suplex, but then twists into almost a stunner type maneuver. I don't know what it's called. It always looks good. But after hitting that nice looking move, Morrison gets a nice little quick fluke victory. So there goes R-Truth's title shot. All you fucking R-Truth haters out there can rest easy, because the guy that has never gotten a single leg up in the WWE since he started is still not getting a WWE title shot. He wasn't going to win anyway. Why couldn't they just give him a match? But anyways, Truth attacks Morrison after the match, goes berserk, beats the living shit out of him, and then starts, you know, rambling on like he's lost his shit there. Walks through the crowd. Who's got a bottle of water for me? Who's got a cigarette for me? And he takes a bottle of water from the crowd, beats Morrison over the head of it. It's very typical. Then he grabs a smoke from the crowd, and in something I never ever thought I would see in the PG WWE, lights up the smoke, sits there wandering around Morrison's sort of fallen self there, and sits there and blows a big puff of smoke in his face. And not to say that smoking is the cool thing to do, or that I'm even marking out for a wrestler smoking, but it's just something I didn't think I would see in the PG era of the WWE. So I kind of marked out for it that way. It was a little stab at the PG thing. But what I want to say to this opening segment here is Morrison came in as the heel, and Truth left as the heel. So if they're putting Truth on a big, gigantic heel turn, maybe that'll give him some more time. Maybe that'll get him off of, fighting on superstars. Okay, so that was a great match. Great way to first start out the night. Then we have Evan Bourne versus, as Vicky dubs him, the new Dolph Ziggler, which is the same Dolph Ziggler that we've all come to know and hate, with a haircut and a dye job. That aside, and Vicky Guerrero aside, they put on another amazing match. We're rolling pretty good. 2 in a row. Evan Bourne, Dolph Ziggler, no bullshit. They just put on a good match. Ziggler wins. That's fine. I can deal with that. They mentioned sort of offhand that the annual draft is next week. Then they switch over to a recap of Sin Cara's brief impact on the WWE so far. His first impact being an attack on Sheamus, his second being an attack on Jack Swagger, his third being his really, really good match against Primo last week on Raw. Very nice little video package. Pump the guy up. He's new. He can't really say anything because he's a masked character. You can't see facial expression. He's not saying much. So the video package did a great job of putting him over. We switch from that recap to a John Cena video tribute, which was very good. We're all still sort of getting over the edge thing, but whatever. Miz and Alex Riley come out. Miz complains about the triple threat match being changed and how he spent a whole week getting ready for R-Truth. Meanwhile, the match is still 3 weeks away, and complains about the fact that he now has to face John Morrison as well as John Cena, and announces that somewhere along the way this also got made into a cage match, which is fun. I'm thinking that's mostly to keep Alex Riley out, but he'll make his way in sometime. And because he's upset about all of this, he has a little sit-down strike in the ring, which basically takes up the commercial break. After the commercial break, the sit-down strike is interrupted by Cara, who has a scheduled match against Alex Riley. Miz gets all pissed off. John Cena comes down to neutralize the Miz, and the general manager chimes in to make it a very, very predictable tag team match. The match was okay. It was definitely, it definitely had two halves. The first half was, Super Cena just pounding everybody. The second half was him taking in Sin Cara, and Sin Cara doing an excellent job of showcasing the style and abilities that he brings to the WWE. So it's all good. I have one question. Developing trend in the WWE of mocking TNA guys, or former WWE guys that are now in TNA. When did The Miz start using the side effect? He doesn't do it very well. I mean, it's cool that he did it. It's a nice little jab, but he doesn't do it very well, so whatever. Yeah, Miz and Sin Cara. No. John Cena and Sin Cara win the match predictably. Did anybody think that Miz and Riley were going to win this match? No, nobody did, and they didn't, and it's all good. Nikki Bella and Eve have a very, very boring women's match with Brie sort of taunting her new Divas title around the outside as we go. Then we have Cole's knighting ceremony. Oh, yes, we do. Michael Cole and Jack Swagger have all of a sudden made up from Michael Cole slapping the taste out of Swagger's mouth last week. They have this old woman dressed up like the Queen because they're in the UK come down and knight Michael Cole. That gets said and done, and now he starts referring to JR and the King as peasants, and they have to come into the ring and kiss his feet, so Swagger beats the shit out of King and leaves him outside. They bring JR in. Michael Cole takes his shoe and sock off, and he's got a nasty-ass fake bit of something on his foot that's supposed to be athlete's foot, because that's tasteful, isn't it? Basically, they do the Cole shit at the halfway point of the show, which is supposed to be a big selling point. Michael Cole's not a wrestler. JR's not a wrestler. Jerry the King Lawler used to be a wrestler, and all due respect to that, but he's not anymore. Jack Swagger is only in this because he had nothing else to do. Why is this the focal point, the center of the show? I have no idea. It should have ended at WrestleMania. Sheamus and Santino have a quick match after that, basically further establishing Sheamus's dominance as the U.S. champion, as a force to be reckoned with in the WWE. Basically, it amounts to Sheamus and Santino Marella the rag doll for a couple of minutes, which is fine. I'm starting to like Sheamus this time around, I will say. I know I've talked a lot of shit about Sheamus on this channel. He was pushed down our throats in the first couple of months he was there, so that was kind of a pain in the ass. But now he's done that, fallen down, and he's making his way up slowly again, which is, I think, along the lines of what they're doing with Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, with Vicky Guerrero at his side, had a world title basically thrown at him, and then they switched what show he was on. So now he's going to reestablish himself on Raw and hopefully get a better run of it. Now, the main event was Punk and Orton rematch from WrestleMania. This was a great match overall. I'm pretty sure it's as long as there's no bullshit, these guys are incapable of having a bad match. It wasn't obviously as good as WrestleMania's because it was on a weekly show, but it was a nice little follow-up match to WrestleMania. And once again, at the sort of the jabs at TNA, I love the way Orton pulls off the angle slam. It's quick, it's effective, whatever. Long story short, Orton wins the match. New Nexus come out to take him out. Mason Ryan pushes the rest of the New Nexus out of the way. He's all nuts in the face, still trying to be Batista. Wants Orton all to himself, tries to set himself up for a punt, and Punk says no, And Mason Ryan says, no, but I want to kick him in the head, but I want to kick him in the head. And Punk says, no, I'm the leader, I get to punt him in the head. Punk goes to punt Orton in the head. Orton springs up, hits him with an RKO, and leaves, and basically Raw ends with Punk just sitting crouched in the ring, losing his shit because he can't beat Orton. Okay. Told you guys when I started doing these things last week, basically it's going to be a rundown, the scores, the fails, and the MVP. The scores are the things I liked about the show. Fails are self-explanatory, and the MVP is who really stole the show that night. I've got 2 scores this week. Score number 1 is the Orton-Punk rematch. There was nothing wrong with this match. As far as a weekly televised show match, you can't really take anything away from this match. BS ending, but that's just storytelling. The BS ending came after the match. The match ended cleanly. You can't really ask much more from a one-on-one match. My second score is underrated people being pushed on Raw. R-Truth is one of them. Evan Bourne is the other one. Like I say, Sheamus is on his slow rise for a second time, and it's good. It's a great counter to what we saw at WrestleMania, where all the focus was on the old guys that had come back for one night, which, if you're anything like me, annoyed me a lot. So it's good. It's sort of like the old guys have gone away again, and they're giving the ball back to the young guys, the new guys, the guys that are going to be there in 5 years, which the old guys probably are not. The fails for this week is the whole Cole Knighting thing. That thing could have been done in 5 minutes. It felt like 20. And it was gross and distasteful and whatever else. And they mentioned it offhand a couple times. The annual draft is a big thing, or it's always been a big thing since they've done the brand extension. The draft has always been a big thing. They didn't put any promo package together for it. They mentioned it offhand a couple times. They're completely underselling the draft. I don't agree with them setting up all these title matches for a pay-per-view before the draft. That doesn't really make much sense. I mean, if you treat wrestling like it's real, why are you going to establish a number 1 contender on your roster if your roster is going to be tossed on its head in a week or so? So the way they're handling the draft this year, so far from what I can see, big fail. MVP for the week for this edition of Raw. I'm sorry, nobody's going to like this at all, but I'm saying MVP of the week is R-Truth. He got screwed out of his title. He had a really, really good match with Morrison, even though he lost. And if they're putting him on a massive heel turn, he's had a great start to it tonight. So yeah, MVP of the night for Raw for April 18th is R-Truth. Oh yes, bring on the heat. Subscribe up there, talk down there. Let me know what you think. Don't be a stranger, and I will talk to you later.